Hello everybody, welcome back to another reaction video, and welcome back to another reaction to Charlie Brooker's Screenwipe. Today, we are doing Series 2, Episode 5, which I believe is the last episode of Series 2? Let me verify that real quick. It might be. Wait, hold on. Yes, it is. This is the last episode of Series 2.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Screenwipe
Oh,
from
snap.
Hollywood.
Oh,
honestly.
snap again.
I have to do that because the Hollywood sign itself is copyrighted.
Ah.
And for me to allow it to appear on screen
It is?
would cost us thousands of dollars.
I didn't know that.
I can, however,
Guess it makes
call
sense,
the people
though.
who own the copyright a bunch of money-grabbing bastards for nothing.
True.
That's showbiz. Not so long ago, if someone said the words American television to you, a million bad pictures immediately formed in your mind.
Still does.
Soft focus soap starring shoulder pads instead of people, whooping inbreds tossing cars over swamps, sitcoms half as funny as breaking your jaw on a door frame, and shape-shifting festival of idiocy, Manimal.
What the hell's Manimal?
Help me!
Whoa! He's a
Today, all
snake?
that's changed, and it's painfully obvious that
fuck?
most of the American shows that make it onto our screens make British TV look like, well, a load of old tut, quite frankly. American TV has thrown off its shoddy reputation and is now widely regarded as some of the best and occasionally the worst TV in the world. So what can it teach
I suppose
us
that's
Brits,
correct.
if anything? We'll get onto that in a minute, but first, because we're a British show doing a US special, let's kick things off with an absolutely pointless and needless, "Ooh, look, we're in America," type montage, because apparently that's the law.
I want to see it. Yo, and now burger. Aww. Oh, there we go.
There's a lot of TV in the US and the setup's quite different to ours. Chances are you've heard of the main networks but don't know quite which does what in the where now. So here's a handy cut out and keep guide. The oldest network is CBS, which started broadcasting in 1939 and is sometimes known as the Tiffany Network, thanks to its reputation for slightly blue-chip programming. In the past, it spawned classics such as the harrowing laugh-a-thon MASH and the slightly less harrowing oil baron-a-thon.
Ratings-wise, the most popular TV show ever
It currently keeps
in
us
America.
all in with hits like gruesome forensics drama CSI.
If you go look up
Then
the
there's
most
NBC,
viewed
known as
American
the
programs
Peacock
ever,
Network.
it's all
The
Super
people who brought
Bowls
you
and the MASH
wonderful
finale.
Columbo and the equally wonderful Hill Street Blues. Currently enjoying success with a somewhat flashier than ours version of Deal or No Deal.
I used to watch this.
And an assured colloquial take on
And
The
this.
Office. ABC's next, owned by Disney and sometimes referred to as the Alphabet Network for reasons beyond the realm of normal human understanding. For years a poor cousin to CBS and NBC, ABC eventually came into its own during the 60s and 70s thanks to a combination of sports and mass appeal froth like Charlie's Angels. As well as high-profile, high-caliber miniseries like the excellent Roots. Often sparky and innovative, it's currently home to the sassy suburban fest, Desperate Housewives, and the downright unusual Lost. The final member
It is
of the
quite
Big
unusual.
Four is also the newest, Fox, founded in 1986 by
Fuck.
Fox didn't really start kicking network ass until 1989 with the launch of the hilarious and satirical Simpsons.
Whoa.
Today it's home to blockbusters like crypto-fascist masturbatory Fantasy 24, the upliftingly world-weary House,
Love that show.
and the altogether shiny and happy American Idol.
Hate that show.
Shiny and new.
These terrestrial networks operate under the unforgiving gaze of the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, a shadowy government agency best known in recent years for taking a very dim view of anything that might possibly contravene their indecency regulations.
In 1972, Home Box Office, or HBO, became the first premium cable network. Today, it's the home of some of the most admired television in the world, ranging from the brutal yet literate Sopranos to Larry David's foul-mouthed comedy of LA manners, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That just ended, I think.
Fuckhead, shit-faced, cocksucker, asshole, son of a bitch!
Cable networks aren't subject to the FCC's decency guidelines, which is why Tony Soprano and Larry David are free to turn the airwaves as blue as they like.
Scum-sucking motherfucking whore!
Here's Lewis Black from The Daily Show, who's got some views on TV censorship all of his own.
Ever since 9/11, there are two things that scare the hell out of the leaders of the United States. First, that there might be a terrorist attack. And second, that possibly a naked body might be exposed on a television screen.
Still accurate, that one.
This all started back at the Super Bowl when Janet Jackson was performing. But before she came out to do her little dance, there was Justin Timberlake. So there he is doing his little dance with that little hat. And out comes Janet. And Justin sees her and he goes, I'm going to touch with my pee-pee. And he starts chasing her around. And she's going, no, no, no. And he's going, I'm going to touch with my pee-pee. No, no, no. I'm going to touch with my pee-pee. No, no, no. And then he finally touches her with his pee-pee and he grabs her. And he accidentally rips her dress.
Accidentally.
And for an instant, there's a flash of flesh on the screen. Just like that. Well, I woke up the next morning and my beloved country had completely lost its mind. I turned on the TV. Holy God! Did you see the Super Bowl yesterday? It was absolutely staggering. Janet Jackson's breast exposed to the entire nation. What will we do?
That shit was ridiculous.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. They showed it over and over and over again. Every channel you went to, it was on the internet. The Goodyear blimp had shots of it. You could go anywhere to see it. And then the leaders came out and said, bring us the breast. We must see the breast. And they locked themselves up. And they examined that breast from every angle. They examined that breast for so long that I actually thought Osama bin Laden was hiding in it. And then they came out and said, we've seen the breast. What will it do to the children? Nothing. It'll do nothing to the children.
Exactly.
I don't know if they remember what it was like to be a child, but let me tell you, when I was a kid, you know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see a titty.
They say tomato, and we say...
I gotta say about this whole thing, too. The fact that, I mean, Janet Jackson was the one who got blamed and slut-shamed for this, when it was fucking Timberlake's fault, like, the whole thing was completely fucking ridiculous.
I don't know if they remember what it was like to be a child, but let me tell you,
legitimately
when I was a kid, you know what I
one of the
wanted to
most
see?
ridiculous
I wanted to see a titty.
They say
controversies
tomato, and
from,
we
like,
say tomato.
the
If we're taking
2000s.
the piss
Maybe
out of the way
the
the
most
royals
ridiculous.
speak. Yes, we like to think the Americans are just the same as us, apart from their wonky vowels and extra confidence, which is why we've been trying to flog them our old junk for years. Marmite sandwiches! Marmite sandwich from England? They say tomato, and we say tomato if we're taking the piss out of the way the royals speak. Yes, we like to think the Americans are just the same as us, apart from their wonky vowels and extra confidence, which is why we've been trying to flog them our old junk for years.
Hey, wait a minute.
Marmite sandwiches! Marmite sandwich from England?
The frenzied exporting kicked off in earnest 1,000
Hold
years
on.
ago, when still reeling from the
Hold
excitement
on.
of Beatlemania, the Americans took
Why'd that
David
loop?
Frost under their wing.
60s Anglo-mania also convinced the Americans to give some of our
taking
programs
crazy
a spin,
pills?
such as The Avengers, which had been running in Britain for years before being bought by ABC in 1966. As part of the deal, they insisted it be shot on film in colour, which is why it still looks so bloody lovely today.
It does look good.
As the 70s dawned, the Americans were exposed to hallucinogenic British comedy like Monty Python and lovely old highbrow documentaries such as Kenneth Clarke's Civilization.
Those great works of Western.
British
Upstairs,
drama
downstairs.
also flourished. Shows like revered class-conscious serial Upstairs, Downstairs were repackaged as part of masterpiece theatre with filmed introductions from Alistair Cook that gave the impression you were about to be served a gourmet meal by a butler tugging his forelock so bloody hard he's bashed his head through the floor.
To this day, flogging your format over here is the secret dream of many British programme makers. But until recently, few shows could expect anything more than cult success in the States without undergoing a territorial makeover first.
For instance, when the Americans wanted some blue-collar grit, they looked to the UK, where lo and behold there was a massively popular show called Till Death Us Do Part.
A proper one, eh? You said he was born in Manchester.
I'm saying this one.
Well, he ain't a proper blackie then, is he?
But there was no way on earth you could broadcast the original on American TV. They'd have mistaken it for a transmission from Mars. Instead, they remade it as All in the Family. Lovable racist Elf Garnett became lovable racist Archie Bunker.
Mr. Davis, my daughter Gloria standing over there.
Hello, Gloria.
And her husband Mike.
Hello, Mike.
No!
It was such a barnstorming hit, it wasn't long before US producers groomed another gritty Britcom for mainstream success.
Yes.
Strutty old rag and
Came
bone
Sanford
duo
and Son.
Steptoe and Son transformed into Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son was very
equally
successful.
funny landmark black-led sitcom of the 70s.
I never heard you say thank you. Okay? Thank you. Okay.
Weirdly, the exchange never works in reverse.
Take the Golden Girls, for instance. The original was a smash hit, wrinkly chuckle-fest beloved by millions.
I'm all right. I'm fine.
Rest in
But
peace,
when
Betty
we
White.
remade it as Brighton Bells, it turned out to be half as funny as accidentally reversing over your own children in a
I didn't know y'all
barbed
remade Golden
wire
Girls, that's
wheels
crazy.
on Christmas Day. Despite this, here's a man who thinks US comedy can learn from the UK. Writer-producer Rob Long, author of Conversations with My Agent.
American comedy is sort of dead. I don't know, or not dead, but I like to describe American comedy as living in an assisted living facility somewhere in the desert. You know, it's old, and it may not last, but it's still all there. It could be maybe revived somehow. It's not quite dead. So I suspect that's a case of fear. I actually think that British comedy formats or comedy shows will be imported in the next couple of years in record numbers, because you can go to an executive in the United States and say, you don't have to have any imagination at all. I just want to say it works somewhere else.
I don't know
So
if
we'll
that
try
quite
it
happened,
here.
but
and if it doesn't work here, you won't look stupid, because it does work in Britain.
I agree
Any
that it
successful,
probably should have been a good
television
idea.
comedy in the United States is an accident. It's like an industrial mistake. It shouldn't have happened. The system is set up to destroy it by the time it gets out. So if it somehow a successful hit show slips through, it's because people weren't paying attention.
I see the Hollywood sign.
Studio, or they
In the
were
background.
broke and they
You guys
couldn't
have to pay for
replace
that.
it, or something happened that went wrong. I try to describe the system as like an industrial conveyor
Maybe it's
belt.
blurred though, so that it
And you
doesn't
pretend
count.
your idea is like a little, fluffy bunny. And it goes on a conveyor belt into a cylinder with these rotating knives. Right?
Oh, no.
And the knives must chop it all up so it all looks the same. And then it goes from there to a giant machine that smashes it to smithereens.
Oh.
Right? But there's a chance that when the knives are rotating up, that the little bunny can get through the knives right when this little concrete smasher goes up and will escape. And that would be a Seinfeld or a Friends or a Cheers or Pick a Hit. But the ones that go through the system come out, looking chopped up.
No, you're not wrong.
That would be a Joey.
The whole UK-US exchange has gone into reverse in recent years. We used to look down our noses at their populist dramas.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, God, look at this.
Yo, Knight Rider.
It's aimed at absolute cretins. I mean, look at that, a talking car. Look at his hair.
Now we look up to them.
Oh, God, I mean, really, The Sopranos is so bloody brilliant. I have just pissed my own balls inside out.
I don't believe any of this shit.
We used to import their tacky game show formats.
If you were to walk out on
Formats like the
Tacky.
Jolly and Anodyne Family Feud, which we remade as Family Fortunes.
Yep.
Okay.
Now we're the ones selling tacky game show formats to them. Flip on the
Ah, yeah.
TV over here and British entertainment formats are all over it like a rash that married a virus.
Thanks for The
Excruciating
Apprentice,
hit
by the way.
America's Got Talent, for
Really
instance,
appreciate
comes evil
what
British
happened
genius
as
Simon
a
Cowell and
result of
features
that.
this big English tit.
Thanks.
on the end of a pier.
So, are there any other UK shows? we
Really
can flog our
thankful for
Yankee
that
cousins?
one.
Well, to find out, we subjected a focus group of average Americans to some British TV they might not have seen yet.
Okay, this is a clip from a show called
Fuck.
Bullseye.
Oh, bullseye. Let's go.
And here's your host, Dave
What? You showed him the Dave Spikey version?
with his computerized six-function Carl Lewis exercise
The
band.
hell?
Tonight's star prize. 1,
I mean, to be fair, they'd probably be bored by darts anyway.
20.
Okay, so that was Bullseye.
But still, the fuck?
What did you make to that, anyone?
Is the entire premise of the show based on darts?
Yes.
It's pretty dartish, yeah.
I mean, if it weren't for the host, the show would be like watching paint dry.
Are all the prizes still not that great?
That was
Wow, Dave Spikey actually got over.
that edition aired a few weeks ago.
It's very fun because darts is something that the family unit can participate in, and there's not a lot of things.
You don't see that many families.
Tends to just be big guys with arms like hams.
But the prizes, like that boat, were shockingly wonderful. I mean, for just throwing darts. I mean, I wish I could be a contestant on that show.
Okay, what
darts
you're
is an
going to see
easy
now
thing.
is a very, very popular daytime quiz show. Goes out every day. It's called Countdown.
Ah.
Consonant, please.
Thank you, Jack. C.
Countdown is
And
kind of
another
boring,
one,
by the way.
Right, here we go, chaps.
She should have made out of 10 Countdown.
Any good, Paul?
No, just 6.
Just a 6, Jack?
6.
What's your 6, Jack?
Capote.
Capote, right?
Very good indeed.
6 apiece, though.
Yeah.
Kim?
I didn't get anything, I'm afraid.
So that was Countdown. Anyone find that exciting?
Horrible.
I like it.
Horrible? Sorry, horrible.
It is.
Almost as exciting as Scrabble.
I think I'm mostly shocked by the cheap production value. I mean, it looks
It
like
is
something
kinda
that would
boring,
be
but it's more like
here, like
turn
in
your
the
brain off type
early
thing.
70s at best. And I'm like, hello, they have computers now that can give you those letters. Like Vanna just points now. She doesn't actually have to put letters up.
Hello.
You were offended by the cheap production.
Not
Computers.
offended, but kind of shocked.
You looked offended.
Well, I'm a little offended. I mean, visually, it's
Fucking
somewhat
Gabe
offensive,
Newell over
you know,
here.
because it's like there's a lot better available now, and why aren't you using it?
We know we can't afford it.
Next, we showed them Twitcher-friendly rural voyeur series Springwatch.
Okay. That's
Back of the nest box, which appears to be empty because the youngsters are fled. Look, this is a male.
I hate to tell you, but a moment ago, in fact, while the Cuckoo film was on, the badgers were out.
Let's go!
There is no...
I see no badger.
Where's the badger?
now?
No.
What did you make to that, anyone? Oh, sorry, you put your hand up straight
There's
up.
no
there.
badger.
Like I was at a friend's place watching a slideshow that was not going to end for several hours.
I don't know. It was very cheesy, I would say.
Does anyone have any ideas on how you would adapt that for the US market?
I should have showed him Blake 7.
Right, interest.
Well, maybe this will grab their interest. The Bill, ITV's
Oh, there we go.
pulse-quickening cop drama.
Mate, 1 minute, please!
Relocate
to the pavements. Relocate to the pavement now, please.
Just excuse us for 1 minute.
Yeah?
Uh-oh.
Shall I do all this? So now we're supposed to be relationship counselors in this job too. It really winds me up. Everything winds you up right now. No, I'm sorry for being snappy with you earlier. What is it with you and Emma anyway?
Me and Emma? Nothing, just good friends.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, trust me, I'm a free agent.
Yeah, me too.
Who thought that was any good whatsoever? What were you saying?
I thought it was a comedy just because, like, the super bad acting,
Bro, this hat
and the
looks
super
crazy.
cheapness, and super low quality of everything.
So it's hard to buy into the drama aspect of it.
Yeah, it felt like a
I guess.
send-up. You know, I mean, I would want to see more of it. It just felt like it was some sort of almost mockumentary play on, you know, these sort of drama shows. Like, even Between the Cops is, like, what's their relationship about? You know what I mean? It's like he's about to lay a kiss on the guy, or what's going on, you know?
Sounds like
Oh,
what
no.
they really want is more realism. Well, thank God for that, because it doesn't come more realistic than this. EastEnders.
Any chance of a brew, Dorothy? I'm spitting feathers here, love.
I'm sorry you'll have to make your own.
What is your problem? Slagging me off over the Vic ain't enough for you.
That guy's
you come round to
face.
finish the job.
Wait a minute,
I've
what?
had enough of you. You're doing my head in.
Listen to
no,
me.
you listen to me. You've got nothing to say that I want to hear anymore. I want you out of my life. You're dead to me.
Brutal.
Regular soap action?
Yep.
I like it better than our soaps. Our soaps are, everyone has a shitload of makeup on. She didn't look like she had any makeup on, and everyone looked, once again, quite normal. And I
Fair
like
enough.
that. Most soaps are so overdone, and the characters are so gorgeous, it's like they're painted.
The acting is much better in this than our soap operas. Our soap operas, we had this long dramatic pause after every sentence.
These are good points, yeah.
For some reason, which
While they're
is never
remembering
that way in real life. So it seemed much more true to real life. And I actually watched the show. I like it.
It's interesting to me. You know, it doesn't seem to be that vanity about the people on television.
That was
This
a
guy seems
really
annoying, by the
polite
way.
way of saying they were all pig ugly. America's soaps are markedly different to ours. They're on during the day, they last a full punishing hour, and the standard of every aspect of them makes EastEnders look like I Claudius.
Yes, it's Acorn Antiques all the way, replete with abysmal dialogue,
Chance fancy face.
wobbly sets,
God, I knew it. What is wrong with her?
and acting so bad it isn't even wooden, it's bloody cardboard.
Go, please. Wait in the hall, please, and wait till I give you further orders. Go, please.
Yeah, whatever.
Two things immediately strike you. First of all, that American Soapland is so stagey and unnatural, it feels like a dystopian future world overseen by the hunks of Olympus.
Secondly, everyone's so good looking it's difficult to tell them
I like the
apart.
start of the gay
In
porn.
fact, a lot of them look like bad celebrity lookalike versions.
I've watched a lot of gay
established
porn, so I would know.
stars. Look, here's the poor man's Brad Pitt.
Here's the Argos Heather Graham.
Tell me that since what, junior high?
And here we see the pound stretcher Meg Ryan romancing it up with a cheapo Kurt
Whoa.
Russell.
Oh, and this so-called Britney Spears is just taking the piss.
Cannot see where he is.
The soaps are aggressively targeted at frustrated housebound women, so the male members of the cast spend most of their time walking around in a sort of shirtless daze, dangling around on screen like haunches of beef in a display cabinet. Still, it befits their apparent IQ. This one's too dumb to even register pain.
Oh.
Hit him again. While the men bubble around
Joke's
with
on
their
you,
tits
I'm into
hanging out,
that
the
shit.
women specialise in non-stop cattiness.
Look, honey, if you can't keep up with today's technology, don't blame your failures and your mistakes on me. We won't have that. I'm quaking in my shoes.
Unfortunately,
In your
despite
shoes?
the lurid storylines, the truth is that thanks to the constraints
What
of
are
the
shoes?
budget and the amount of time they have to fill, 90% of the action seems to consist of characters standing around in rooms endlessly debating the minutiae of the plot with all the emotion of half-sentient vending machines.
We should have known. We should have trusted our suspicions. It's a brilliant plan. Who would have suspected that Alistair was healthy when his body was lying there unconscious for everyone to see?
Still, in plot-stretching
Whoa.
terms, the clear king of the soaps has to be the demented Passions, which plays like the sort of thing you might see in your mind's eye after being
Not
hit
familiar
on the
with
head
that
with a car jack. Passions doesn't throw reality out the window so much as
Amusing.
jettison it into the sun. For instance, one of the characters is a mermaid.
Oh.
Could this beautiful woman be a mermaid? No way.
And that's not me
What
taking
the
a scene
fuck?
out of context. She really is a mermaid.
You're about to find out that you should never make a mermaid angry. And right now, I'm boiling mad. Come and get her, boys! I don't see anybody out here. Ow!
Oh shit. Oh.
Then there's arch-villain Alistair.
Well, this
a
looks
bit
crazy.
like the most evil daytime game show host the world has ever seen.
Because
I'm not familiar with this one. I should watch it though.
Challenged. I can now vanquish each and every one of you.
Cool.
He is my favourite, actually, just because the guy playing him is clearly having a whale of a time making his performance as stupid as humanly possible.
He does look like he's having a good time.
I knew you would fly here to help your lover, especially after your idiot father of yours.
I bet everyone on this had a good time.
You let Mr. Crane and my mom know where Whitney disappeared to?
Duh. I am going to destroy everyone who tried to destroy me.
Other characters include Luis, a profoundly dumb hunk whose entire life seems to consist of him having flashbacks.
Yeah, maybe he was watching us when...
Uh-oh.
What is it?
That monk. What about him? I don't know. There's something familiar about him. Hey, you! Stop!
Oh.
In fact, he spends so much time queuing up clips from yesteryear, he's like a one-man bloody clip show.
Morning!
And when he's not doing that, he's thinking aloud in voiceover.
Only she has. Beth took Marty to his grave along with her.
Without post-production, he'd be f***ed. Anyway, you've got to admire Passions just for its sheer balls.
Go on, name another soap that would have the nerve to introduce the Pope as an incidental character.
Really?
Bless his father.
What has happened here?
And get him doing Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations.
Calm yourself. You've done no wrong. The deceiver used you as we knew he would.
Not the
All in all,
Popenegger.
American Soapville is a bizarre fantasy land in which nothing makes sense. It's full of sex and death, and men walking around with their shirts off talking bollocks. It's just like Dunstable, really, but with a bit less concrete and piss. You know what? I think there's actually just too much television in America. Here's Lewis Black.
I think,
Hey, man.
and there's a moneymaker here, that you could put on a network And all that would appear on that network is a bowl of shit. And it'd have to be steaming. Can't just be lying there.
Right.
It needs to be steaming. Why? Because motion catches the eye. You'd never see a human being. All you'd see is a bowl of shit. And it plays some of that new age music, so it's relaxing. And they'd watch it for a second and go, holy shit, that doesn't make sense, and they'd go away. But I guarantee you, it would haunt them. And every day they would turn on the TV. And they'd watch, and they'd watch, and they'd watch, and then they'd go, where was that bowl of shit? And then they'd put it in that recall button. So they'd wake up, watch the morning news, and go, bowl of shit! Eventually, they'd start watching it for longer periods of time to see what was going on. But they'd never see a human being, just a steaming bowl of shit. But here's the kicker. Eventually, we put a number up, and you can call that number. And what you have to do is guess which celebrity gave us the shit.
It's missing a number.
That's right, it's a contest. Oh, and it's $1 a call. And we're in charge. So nobody really knows who the winner is, do they?
America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. And
Allegedly.
Thank Christ they're brave, because some of their TV would be enough to make a more cowardly nation crap its collective spine through its great big mutual bum hole.
He lurks in the dark.
Oh no.
Yes, if it's scaremongering you're after, here it is, flowing from the box like a river of screams.
While we Brits have a wussy inbuilt aversion to overt sensationalism of real-life events, the Americans have raised it to an art form, a frantic tone poem of twisted metal, gunfire, and all-round
Take your clothes off! No! Take your clothes off!
Perhaps the most successful real-life horror show is America's Most Wanted, the long-running equivalent to Crime Watch and one of the first shows to put Fox on the map. To station execs, these shows are a gift. They cost around 1/10 as much as the average primetime show, and the gaudy content ensures the audience can't bear to look away, probably in case one of these guys is standing behind them.
The police see every side of human nature.
The crown prince of reality crime shows has to be this man, Sheriff John Burnell, host of World's Wildest Police Chases,
I remember
and the
this.
source of the most feverishly lurid vocal style in history.
I used to watch
This is your
this.
first-class ticket to high-speed action, and you're in the driver's seat.
He's running on the rim only at this time.
Cable station Court TV plays host to most of this high-octane shit. Shows like Hot Pursuit, which look like a live-action
Shortly
version of
after
Grand
this,
Theft
actually,
Auto,
around the same time, they got rid of Court TV. Changed to True TV.
and sound like they're scripted by Dr. F***ing Zeus.
Although Court TV came back recently.
Baddie in the caddy led the
Has a whole different
officers on a
network.
wild chase, but paid the price, getting maced in the face.
Still, gut-wrenching though they may be, since 9/11 all these shootouts and car chases feel like quaint slapstick compared to the dread spectre of terrorism.
Perhaps the most startling example is the Showtime miniseries Sleeper Cellar, jarring,
Oh.
torn from today's headlines tale of terrorists at large, which played like a cross between an intelligent Robert Fisk article and a very bad episode of The A-Team. But it's not just drama that's frightening.
US advertisers are unashamedly eager to set you shivering so much
that
you
Scrubs
shake
in
all
the
the
background?
coins out of your own pockets. And if that's not enough, the breakneck list of potential side effects should have you reaching for the heart pills in no time.
People taking MAOIs or thyroidazine or who have uncontrolled glaucoma should not take Cymbalta. Tell your doctor if your depression worsens or
We
you
talked
have
about this in the
thoughts of
commercial
suicide.
video.
With all this
Those
panic
ads got
juice
worse.
sloshing around the screens, you'd expect the Americans to be permanently jumpy and neurotic. But weirdly, the exact opposite seems to be true. Yes, it's a cliche, but it's true. One of the first things you notice about Americans is how laid back and friendly they are. All right, you big American fucker.
Not
Check
Tiki
this lot
Barber.
out, for example. Yes, even on doomy, jackbooted Fox News, the presenters chum it up like nobody's business.
Just a little bit, Tiki. Come on, please.
Not so much
And
anymore.
that's when the terror alert's elevated. When it's neutral, they sit around in their pants playing Kaplunk. When our newsreaders try to relax, they just look awkward, like they've accidentally shat themselves and don't want to let on.
So how do they do it? Leaping from unbridled fear 1 minute to unbuttoned how's it hangingness the next. How do the Americans retain their sanity? I don't f***ing know. Go and ask a sociologist. Go on, go and phone one up.
British TV may be drowning in F-words and innuendo, but surely that's preferable to the shameless ghoulishness of much of American television. Take this delightful slice of primetime fare, NBC's To Catch a Predator.
Oh,
They
no.
drove up to our door, then they're
Chris
dragged
Hansen.
into court. Can online predators be taken off the streets? Tonight, in To Catch a Predator.
Yes, it's a hidden camera investigation with delicious overtones of entrapment, in which a bunch of crusaders from an outfit with the apparently unironic title Perverted Justice pose as underage teens in internet chat rooms. They make contact with sweaty palmed men.
Not believe that I'm actually thinking about blanking your blank.
Then they reel them into a house filled with cameras and the news media's answer to Jeremy Beadle.
But instead of being greeted by a child, he meets me.
Did you have a hard time finding the place?
Not at all. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. What can I do for you?
Like most of the men who come in the door, this man agrees to talk. He may think I'm a cop. At first, I don't tell him who I am.
Most of the fun, and okay, it's a news programme, but come on, it's definitely entertainment. Most of the fun comes from watching the men's bewildered expressions the moment Captain Righteous steps into the room.
That's nothing compared with what happens when he starts reading the transcripts of their web conversations out loud and the feeble excuses start flying.
You ask her if she's horny.
What's wrong with that?
You ask if she does anal.
It's a question.
I was actually just going to stop by here to let her know that I wasn't going to be here because I have to go meet with other people.
Wait, you came by here to tell her that you weren't going to come here.
The thing is, there's a definite air of leering curiosity going on here. The host's like a morally outraged Victorian gentleman who's a bit too interested in uncovering the precise level of depravity involved.
Have you ever asked somebody to blank you off? You talk about...
Oh, I won't deny that there was...
You talk about...
Well, the point is he's trying to embarrass them.
I mean, those are normal chat things on...
It's normal chat things with a 14-year-old boy. Ask him if he's horny. And then say, I wish you were not so far away. What conclusion can I draw from this?
Yeah, what conclusion? And despite the subject matter, I have little doubt that the whole thing's being surreptitiously played for laughs. In fact, you half expect to see them popping up in a little inset box in the corner, laughing about it all with the host in the studio afterwards.
I gotta finish getting changed, Cat.
Huh? Actually, he is quite funny because he looks like a little Fonz.
It takes him a second to get on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall.
You say, then I'm big. She says, really? Yeah, how? Then you give the dimension of your penis.
Oh, did I really say that? Sometimes they might as well whack on a laugh track and some comedy sound effects and have done with it.
Did you bring anything with you tonight?
Such as?
Condoms?
Yes, I did.
How were you going to use the condoms in the
I wasn't going to use them at all. Well, yeah, I do.
You do balloon tricks with them? Or?
No.
I want to be on the news, dog.
Well, it's a little late for that, dog. Now, if there's anything else you want to tell me.
He quickly comes up with a disguise.
Sometimes just watching them turn up isn't funny enough, so the programme really f***s with them, encouraging this guy to strip off before entering their house in a sick version of Trigger Happy.
That's crazy.
You want to explain yourself?
Right, if you're going to play this for chuckles, you might as well go the whole hog, yeah? Have the presenter walk out dressed as an 8-year-old girl. Now that would be funny.
The potential predators aren't just there as stooges for a hidden camera fun fest. This is justice in action, so the moment they step outside, Chewbacca attacks them.
Oh, there's Chewbacca.
Yes, the police are cooperating with the show every step of the way. In fact, they even make it legally possible for the show to work at all.
Get on the ground!
In Ohio, in order for prosecutors to file the most serious charges, a police officer needs to be involved in the online chat or phone conversation. Since, in this case, perverted justice members are the decoys, the Sheriff's Department temporarily deputized the PJ volunteers who were in our house.
Next week, perverted justice are granted temporary hangman's rights, and the fun really begins.
Even when the men are tossed in the back of the cop car, the laughs keep coming, because the cameras are still on hand to record every sorry detail of what happens next.
When the detective takes off the handcuffs so the man can sign his statement, he grabs the pen and makes a half-hearted attempt to stab himself.
Good thing behind your back.
You better behave, right?
Was it a threat?
It's hard to imagine a show like this being broadcast in the UK at all. Okay, an extreme edition of Tonight with Trevor McDonald might get close, but not really. But the truly shocking thing about To Catch a Predator is this. That went out at 8 p.m. on a Sunday evening.
Yeah.
It seems hardcore crime shows like To Catch a Predator or the violently disturbing Cops are par for the course in America. So what will the focus group make of our approach to real-life crime in shows like the ludicrously mundane Rail Cops?
Rail.
Excuse me.
The conductor guard has just asked me to have you removed from the train, right? What you've just done, you've just been prizing the doors open, right? And that could cause damage to the train. Now want you off it. And I could now, if I really, really wanted to, have you removed from this station.
The fan leaves with a reprimand and has to catch a later train.
Watch cops because they show stuff that you wouldn't normally see on the metro. That's the kind of stuff you'd see on a daily basis riding the metro.
So it's a bit mundane.
How would that differ from the portrayal of the police you'd see on TV over
Our
here?
cops are hardcore. They
Yeah.
like wrestle people to the ground. There's shootings.
They're
and,
psychopaths.
You know, crazy people running on LSD and stuff. So that was really boring as far as a cop show, like a reality cop show.
But, like,
I was
not in a
much
good
more
way.
Excited.
She
If I have
described them
actually
like
got
it was in a
another bit
good
of
way,
real
and it's
cop
not.
action, but it's possibly even more mundane than that.
Is that an assault? Did your wife put kebab stand hand on you?
Now she caught me with a nail then.
She shot him Scott Squad. Actually, I'm not sure if Scott Squad was out at the time.
I think it was a case of grab him in a.
They should have invented Scott Squad.
In a bad way.
That was just a little bit more action. That's about as active as they get.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
This was more like being punked to me. Like, is that real? They're still doing that for the camera. I don't think he would be that calm on a regular day.
Well, he was.
Should be assault.
In LA.
Sorry,
They'd shoot you if you grabbed a cop in the face like that.
Stiff up.
Yeah, they would.
The
Yes.
police weren't even that excited.
Well, they can't. They haven't got guns they could reach for and stuff. You see.
They don't have guns?
There's no guns.
No.
Right, I forgot about it. Whoa. You have serial killers, though, right?
We've had serial.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty impressive serial killers, but yeah.
It seems there's a greater sense of satire, even
That's
with
fucking
the
guy.
Rail Cop show. I was just trying to think when I've watched our version of Cops. Yeah, I don't think you ever see a police officer being depicted in a bad way. You know what I mean? It's never sent up. It's always people are bad, and this is what cops gotta do. You know, you.
He's got a good point.
And in this, you got the Rail Cop being kind of a prick. You know.
Now, a short while ago on this programme, I described HBO's Deadwood as being one of the best shows of the last 5 years, and I was right, it is. But it isn't the best, because the best show of the last 5 years, possibly even the last 10 years or 20 years come to that, is another HBO show, not as well known, called The Wire.
I agree. The Wire is awesome.
The Wire is quite simply a stunning piece of work.
The
Give
Wire
it
might be the best show
5
ever,
minutes,
honestly.
and you could be forgiven for thinking it's just another cop show, but you'd be so wrong you might as well hurl yourself into a great big bloody bin.
That's him there in the orange.
At its core, it's a drama dealing with the ongoing war of attrition between cops and drug dealers on the streets of contemporary Baltimore.
Ever heard on a wiretap.
But it's more than that. It's not a simple goodies versus baddies melodrama. And it actually physically pains me to use this phrase because anyone who uses it sounds like an absolute tosser. But it is truly multi-layered. Every character in the programme is trapped somehow, be it within the bureaucratic confines of the police department.
So what can I tell you? If this case doesn't fall, we're all going to be stepping on our dicks trying to explain what happened.
Or the unforgiving brutality of the street.
You think you fucked up now? What's up? Look what they did to my ride. Do it or don't, but I got some place to be.
Police and the drug gangs are presented as two distinct networks, each with their own power structure, internal political wranglings.
Do the chair know we gonna look like some punk-ass bitches out there?
Motherfucker, I will punk your ass for saying some shit.
Frank.
What?
And enforced compromises for everyone involved.
Understand? If I have to throw Burrell a scapegoat or two, I got what to throw.
Both of them are regularly shat on by the only truly powerful forces in the programme, which lurk somewhere at the top and are only concerned with lining their own pockets or covering their arses. It's a serial that unfolds slowly and dramatically like a novel, which isn't surprising because that was actually its creator's intention.
Yep.
Speaking of creators, the show was created by a former police reporter, David Simon, working in conjunction with a former homicide detective. And as you might imagine, this gives it an air of authenticity that's largely unmatched in TV drama.
I'm not even kidding. This actually might be the best
It's
show
also
ever.
an angry and intelligent show that offers no easy solution to the problems that it focuses on. For instance, in Season 3, a police chief, frustrated by the never-ending cycle of violence, introduces a highly unofficial safe zone for drug use in a bid to shift dealers from the corners, a move he likens to the concession allowing public drinking from brown bags. Not that the show presents drug use as being without consequence, in fact quite the reverse.
Are you sure this guy wants to be selling you weight?
The characterisation across the whole series is absolutely rock solid, which given the huge number of characters involved is an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
Performances too are almost uniformly brilliant. Picking out a couple of the cast for special praise feels almost unfair, but you know what, I am unfair, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Snitching bugs.
Particularly worthy of note are Michael K. Williams playing idiosyncratic bandit Omar, Andre Royo as shambolic crackhead Bubbles, and Brixton's very own Idris Elba as brooding, charismatic drug lord Stringer Bell.
I ain't gonna hold out.
All right, man, double the muscle on every stash we got. And if the man coming, make ready for the man.
Bloody good accent there as well. He's not the only Brit in the cast, incidentally. Dominic West plays lead cop Jimmy
I thought that was
McNulty
Charlie.
with a slightly less convincing accent, but what the hell, this show's so good it could literally fart in my face and I'd still love it. You can get the first 2 seasons of The Wire on DVD, and season 3 has just been released in the US.
Wow, they're only 3
season
seasons in,
4,
so wow.
meanwhile, should be airing later this year on FX here in the UK. If you like good drama, you have absolutely no excuse for not indulging in this. It is just f***ing brilliant.
Seriously.
I'd like to tell you a true story about American television, and I know it's true because it happened to me. CBS had called me and wanted to fly me out to audition for a pilot for a sitcom. I'd been seen in New York City by a writer, a director, and a producer, and they'd watched my stand-up act. And from that act, they took a whole bunch of lines of mine and created a character for this pilot.
Okay.
I was flying out to Los Angeles to audition for a part which was me. Let me make that clear. I was going to Los Angeles to audition to be myself. LSD is the only thing that can prepare you for the point where you'd be auditioning to be you. And let me tell you this, I gave a great audition. Why? Because I'm me. An hour after the audition, I got a call from CBS, and they said, yes, you gave a great audition. However, there was someone who gave a better one. Unbeknownst to me, there was a better me out there. I'm just glad that that show isn't on the air. Oh, boy. Because I couldn't be me anymore.
Yeah.
In Britain, we tend to look down on fantasy
That
and
shirt's great.
escapism. We associate quality television with kitchen sink realism.
Oh, look, everyone, look how the paupers live. Oh, goodness, isn't it frightful? Tune in next week and see how much worse their lives have become.
Either that or flouncy costume drama.
Oh, gadzooks, my good fellows, Archibald's dropped his hanky in Tossington Hall.
American TV doesn't suffer from this, or at least not to the same extent. Their TV writers tend to be drawn towards weirdness, not worthiness.
Picture a 50s sitcom, for instance, and you probably think of something as cosy and toothless as this. Leave It to Beaver.
Oh!
But why? That never aired in Britain, you idiot. In reality, vintage US sitcoms were just as likely to star a talking horse. I'm Mr. Ed. Or a witch. Or a genie who looked like she was going to drop to her knees and blow Larry Hagman the minute the camera stopped turning.
For off-the-wall Freudian symbolism, how about My Mother the Car, in which Jerry Van Dyke's mother is reincarnated as a motor vehicle?
Mom, you look just beautiful.
And I feel just beautiful, Davy.
I gotta watch
The thing is, it just makes him look like a madman.
Barb, Randy, Cindy, I want you all to brace yourselves. This car right here, did talk to me and plead and beg me to take her home. Now, I say her because this car is my mother.
Look, he's literally inside his mum.
I gotta
Now
watch
he's coming out.
this.
Now he's going back in. Oh, God, I don't even want to think about what he's doing here.
For my money, the king of TV oddity
That's
hails from the
crazy.
1950s.
Yes, The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's
Hell yeah.
classic twist-in-the-tail serial, which used sci-fi as a kind of cloaking device to sneak a starkly anti-nuclear message onto Cold War screens.
Oh, shit.
Henry Bemis, now just a part of a smashed landscape. Just a piece of the rubble. Just a fragment of what man has deeded to himself. Mr. Henry Bemis in the Twilight Zone.
Chilling stuff, although sometimes the message was nothing more profound than, if you've got a plane, for God's sake, don't let William Shatner on board.
There's a man out there.
What?
Look, he's crawling on...
Incidentally, there's an acting masterclass from Shatner here. Watch this sequence and bear in mind all he has to do is get the policeman's gun without being noticed.
I've ever seen Shatner so young.
Brilliant.
You'll find further outright lunacy in that great American institution, the Novelty Crime Fighter series.
Live-action cartoons like the campy Batman
Adam
made
West.
the polythene sandwich, but
Adam
fun
West.
all the way. They later evolved into man-made marvels like the absurd Knight Rider or this Automan. Oh, come on, he's a hologram as if. This is just nonsense.
In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, think of me as an 11.
Oh, got him.
Well, yes, it is nonsense, and it flopped, as did Manimal. The point is, at least they tried Manimal. No one said, hey, can we make a hospital drama instead? No. They said, you mean the guy turns into a snake? That's fucking awesome! They dared to dream. And perhaps, if we embrace some of that wide-eyed escapism, we'd have fewer Holby cities ourselves, and more things that were actually worth watching or exporting. It's just a thought. Well, there you go. That's the end of the American edition of Screenwipe. Fewer Holby cities ourselves, and more things that were actually worth watching or exporting. It's just a thought.
It's a Nacho Libre billboard in the top of the screen. I love that fucking movie.
Well, there you go. That's the end of the American edition of Screenwipe. We'll be back next week with an exclusive 3-hour look at Belgian television.
Fuck. Oh, I got muted. Sorry, Belgian. Holidays in the Danger Zone. America was here. That's a crazy ass title. My mother, the car, went from 65 to 66, had one series of 30 episodes. I mean, this doesn't technically apply because it's an American show, but I gotta be honest. I want to watch this just because this seems like the most insane shit ever. Like, that's the most insane premise for a show I've ever heard. I can't seem to see any... Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find any full episodes. Let's see. My mother the car. Oh! Here we go. Series 1 on YouTube. I found it. Holy shit. I might have to watch this. This seems fucking insane. This seems absolutely insane. Alright. Well, overall good looking on American TV there, but again, if you have not seen The Wire, good chance you have at this point, because I mean The Wire ended, I mean, probably close to 20 years ago at this point. When 2008, yeah. If you haven't seen The Wire, it, honest to God, might be the best show ever. Like, I'm not even kidding. I would very much recommend. Like, it legitimately might be the best show of all time. So, if there's one thing that you should check out from here, aside from obviously My Mother the Car, it should be that. So, yeah. That is it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave it a like. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, they're all in the video description. Well, names on my Patreons. If you didn't know, you can be Patreon me for as little as £1. EX reaction videos, wolves reading content daily, sometimes more. Of all being said, though, my name is Taffy. This has been my reaction to Charlie Brooker Screenwipe and everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.